In problem 7.1, first we draw this cylinder, then a new plane which is tangent to the cylinder. On that we are going to create this section. We'll begin from this point and we'll try to complete the part. So begin sketching on front plane. First let's draw cylinder having diameter 28 and another having 22. Shortcut key and extrude it by 50. Now here we are not going to extrude the common region. We are going to extrude the outer circle. Now let's create a plane. Let's say click and drag it by pressing the Control key. Second reference will be this surface and we are going to make it parallel. Okay, now let's flip it the directions. So on this new plane we are going to create the sketch. Now let's draw the line. Now let's add the dimensions. So the first dimension is this and this, which is 9. Second dimension is inclination, which is 32. Now let's make this tangent. Now let's draw one more circle over here having diameter 7. Now radius is 6. Now this is 2. Now this one and this one are coincident. Let's make this radius 16. Second, this line and this line are perpendicular. So let's delete this line and try to manage it. So let's draw a vertical line from here. And let's trim out the additional part. Now let's add another dimensions. So from here to here, this is given as 12. Second, this line is inclined at 15. Now let's also add the dimensions from here to here as given 19. And from this edge to this corner is given as 32. Now let's add one more dimensions. From here to here it is given as 24. Now click this and make it tangent. Now let's add circle over here whose diameter is 5, which is located from this edge at 6 and from this incline edge is 7. Now let's add one more missing dimensions. From here to here it is given as 20. Now let's add fillet of value 3. Now let's extrude it. Shortcut key and extrude. Now it should go in a opposite direction by thickness of 6 mm. Now let's hide the plane. Now let's create the mirror copy. Select the feature, click on mirror. Now let's select the appropriate right plane. Now we need to remove the material. So let's reuse the sketch we have created in first extrusion. So let's click cut. Instead, let's select the proper region. So inside region. Now starting condition is this, and reverse the blind thickness by 40. Now let's measure the volume. So volume is 22751, which is correct answer. In this problem 7.12, we'll first create this base plate on a front plane along with two holes, and then we're going to add this bracket along with this cylinder and this circular tube type of shape. So start sketching on front plane. Use sector rectangle and add the dimensions 52 by 125. Shortcut key, select the fillet. Fillet is 12. Now let's select the box selection and right click. Now let's add the circular holes. Now select this and dimension is 12. Let's make sure they are aligned with the horizontal origin. Now let's add center line so we can create a mirror copy. Select this circle, click on mirror. Now the center distance between them is 75. Shortcut key and extrude. This time it is 8 mm. Now let's create on a right plane a sketch. Let's draw a circle whose radius is not given. Now select this into convert entities and convert all these. Now let's draw a line. Now let's add dimensions, which is 32 from here. Let's make sure they are horizontally aligned. Now let's add angle between them, which is 28. Here let's also add a center line. Now it is 75 millimeter from the back side. Now let's add the circle exactly on this circumpoint, which is having diameter 10. So we will revolve this section. Now let's go to extrude. Here let's select this region and this region and this region. Now it is exactly in center, so let's offset by 12. So when we mirror it, the distance between them will be 24. Now blind thickness is as given 6 millimeter. Now let's mirror this. So select feature, click on mirror. This time again select the right plane and click OK. Now let's extrude the center cylinder. Select the sketch 2 and click extrude. This time let's select the entire larger circle. So on direction 1 up to surface, let's select this surface, and second direction same up to surface, this one, and right click. Now again let's select that part and click on revolve. Here let's untick and select this center line and select this circle and click OK. Now let's add the fillet. So select fillet feature and the value is 12. So let's make it 12. and right click. So now let's measure the volume. So volume is 103674 and the given answer is 103326. So let's check what's wrong. Now look at very carefully. We are very close to the correct answer. Now let's go through the problem statement. So here specifically fillet is 6 mm is given. So this is going to be 6 mm. Let's try it. So select this and double click and make it 6. Let's update it and now let's measure the volume. Now the volume is 103325 and answer is 26, which is very close and it is correct answer. Problem 7.13. Here we are going to start sketching on top plane. From here we draw a line, then arc, again another arc, second arc, and then line. So we'll draw the half portion and we'll mirror it. Make sure that you use all the dimensions to fully define the sketch from top, side view and top view. So click on top plane and start sketching. Now let's draw center line first. Now from here, let's draw horizontal line. Let's draw some arc over here. Then another arc. Another arc and line. Now let's add dimensions. So this is going to be 98. This radius is 7. This is given as 18. Now overall dimension is 132. So from here to here it is 132. Now this is 22. This is 14. 24. Now let's add overall dimensions. This is 58. Now let's make them horizontal, them vertical. Let's see. Now let's add overall dimension from here to here. It is 88. Now let's try to mirror this part. Just go and pre-select everything and click on mirror entities. Now select the vertical line. Now let's join them to create the region. Okay. Now let's turn off the relationship. Now let's add the straight slot from here to here. Now let's add overall this. Let's cancel this and add this to 7. Here we need to add one more dimensions, which is from here to here, center to center. So this come out 102, which has to be 107, right? So let's try to break some relations and add the dimensions 107. So let's turn off the relationship again. If you look at in the top, let's add one more line from here to here. So this will be as 33. Okay. So now let's let's remove this part and extend to this location. Okay. Now let's extrude. So click on extrude feature. So first we'll select this region and this region, which is 15. Now let's expand same sketch again and extrude this region, which is 66 from the top surface. Okay. So let's change its starting position, and from here it is 66 and click OK. Now let's create cut over here, a corner rectangle. So overall height is 16 given. Shortcut key and extrude. Let's select up to surface and this one and right click. Now let's add two holes over here. Let's select them and create equal. Make sure they are aligned with the origin. Now let's add their dimensions. So they are of 9 millimeter diameter. Distance between them is 22. And they are located from bottom at 11. Now S key and select through all options and click OK. Now what does remain is this side. So select this face and click OK. Now let's try to add bracket portion. Now the diameter is 16, so radius is 8. Height is 13. Now let's add small circle whose diameter is 5. Now let's extrude. Now but in direction it is 16 as given. Now select that feature, click on mirror. Now this time we'll use the right plane and click OK. Now let's measure the volume. So here it is 214,512, which is the correct answer. In 7.14, on a front plane, we are going to draw the sketch and we'll revolve it. Then we'll remove this part and we are going to add this small round corner protrusion in the center. Start sketching on front plane. Now let's draw. And this is 8. Sorry, press escape, select again, press escape and drop it and make it 2. Now let's do the same thing. This and this equal, this and this equal, and this diameter is given as 5. Overall height is 8. Now let's add the, so from here select this endpoint and this is 30. Sorry, this is not 5, it is 6. And there is one more line over here, which is represented as diameter 5. So let's go to trim, select these options and okay. Now let's see what's the change. Correct. So let's make this align. Now let's go to feature and create revolve boss base. Select this part and right click. So on our top plane, so we do not have a mid plane, so let's create the mid plane. Select on midplane and let's select this and convert it to entities. Okay, now let's draw a line. Now let's make distance between them as given 2 typical. This and this again 2 typical. Now let's make them symmetric about center line. Now horizontal lines. Now let's remove the geometry. Now let's further trim the unwanted part. I'll remove this one. There has to be a region over here. Okay, now let's remove this part as well. Now let's add the fillet of 0.5. Now press shortcut key and extrude. This time offset from surface. I need to select the region. This one, this one. Now it is 0.25. Similarly for direction 2, offset surface. Sorry, it's not blind. This one, but it is 0.25. Now we have added the proper part. Now let's on front plane create new sketch. This time let's add rectangle. Midpoint and this point should be vertically aligned. Similarly this point and this point vertically aligned, and let's give the dimensions. So dimension is 1. Now press shortcut key and use extrude command, and this time both the directions, because that is given in front view. You can see the white paper, that means it is through cut. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 196, which is correct answer. We're going to create this spherical shape by revolve feature, and then gradually we're going to create these holes, and we remove the material on both sides, and finally we are going to add this center slot portion and find the volume. So choose front plane. Now let's use midpoint line. Now let's turn into construction geometry, and let's give the dimension 55. Now let's use the center point arc. Similarly from here to here. Now select this and this, let them make equal. Now let's also draw a line having diameter 10. This diameter is 30, means radius is 15. And this end part is 18, so radius is 9. Now let's close the section. So let's select this part and make them horizontal. Now let's remove the additional geometry. Let's remove this part as well. Now let's revolve this section. Now select the top face. Now let's draw a circle. Diameter is 8. Now let's draw center line. Or let's cancel this. Let's use the center point rectangle. Now this is 3 and this is 6. Wrong. This dimension is from here to here. So this is 6. Now it is correct. Now let's extrude and cut. Now let's find the volume. It is 17573, which is correct answer. In 7.16, first we going to create this pin, and on the top we are going to create this shape, and lastly we are going to add this circular end. So select the front plane. Now let's draw a center line. Now let's add dimensions. Top dimension is 45 and this is 26. This is 12 and overall height is 82. So go to feature, click on revolve and click OK. Now again go to front plane. Let's create a line from here. So let's make it like this and extend. Now let's add center line for the reference purpose. Now overall dimensions from here to here it is 68. Okay. Now outside radius is 16. This is 16. And from this to this it is given as 5. Okay. And let's offset. Before that, let's extend this up to center line, and from here to here it is given as 30. Now let's offset. The offset distance is 10. So select this, not outside but inside, and click OK. Now let's create the region by adding the closing line. Now let's align vertically. Now select all of this, control and deselect the center line, click on mirror, select this line and right click. Now the center line, let's convert to construction line. Shortcut key, extrude, select this, right click mid plane, and the depth is total you can consider 28 because diameter of 28 is given and which is tangent to it. So it is going to be 28. Let's add circular part. The inside diameter is 22. Now automatically this is going to be 28 because we already have considered it in width of this rectangular portion. Now shortcut key S and let's extrude. Instead of mid plane, let's go blind and select the contour. And for contour, let's select the outside contour, reverse it, and the overall depth is 17, which is given in top view. Now let's expand same and let's remove the untick the directions and select this part and this part. Okay, and click OK. Now let's mirror. So this one and this one. Click on mirror. We need to choose right plane and click OK. Now let's add fillet at this neck area. So click fillet tool whose value is 2 and select this and right click. Now let's measure the volume. Volume is 91250, which is a correct answer. In problem 7.17, we'll use this sketch and going to create a 3 extrude, and then we'll add this slot cut, the circular notch cut, and left side the cutout, and find the volume. So start sketch on front plane. This line is of 27. This line of 52. And this line is of 29. Now let's add dimension of angle. This is 28. Now let's add fillet. Now fillet is 10. And here it is 12. Now let's go and create 3 extrude, but the thickness is 6 millimeter, but it should be inside, not outside. And right click, select the mid plane, and overall depth width is 40, and right click. Now let's add these slots. Now from here to here, overall dimension is 25 and center distance 18. So this is 18. This is 6. And from here to here it is 25 as given. Let's go and create extrude cut. Now the feature is selected. Now select on linear pattern. Now direction will be this, and the distance between them is 12 is given. Okay. Instead of direction 2, I will use symmetric. So this will be get repeated on opposite side with the same dimension and spacing. So let's click OK. Now similarly, let's go over here and create the cut. This time I will use rectangle tool. So now let's select this point, midpoint, and axis and make it align. So this is 11 and depth is 8. Now press S key and create extrude cut. Now select this and add the circle at the exactly midpoint. Now let's add one more circle having diameter 26. Now let's also create a line from here to here at an angle of 42. So let's draw one more reference line. Now let's give the dimensions 42. Now let's draw two lines. One more line. These two lines should be parallel and make it parallel. Now let's make them symmetric about selected inclined center line. And now let's add distance between them 5. Let's trim out the additional. So let's click OK and let's go to the extrude. Let's revert is up to surface. So this is the surface, but we need to select the outer circle and right click. Now expand the same sketch. Select the extrude cut. This time we'll use this one, this region and this region. Okay. And click OK. Let's measure the volume. So it is 21475. This is correct answer. In 7.18, we'll draw this first circle, this section, and extrude by the given depth. And then we'll add these left and right end plates. And finally, at the middle, we are going to add this small portion and find the volume. So start sketch on top plane. The first circle is of 57. Second is of 30. Let's click on center rectangle. This time thickness is 15 and 2.1 is a width. So press as an extrude. So first part is this and second part is this. So overall is 75. Expand the same sketch. This time let's extrude this region, which is of 55 height. Now select this face and again, now let's use center rectangle. Now let's add dimensions. This is 130. And from here to here it is given as 25. This is overall is 140. Now select this and this. Let's make them vertical. Now let's add the sketch fillet whose value is 20. Now let's add circle as well, whose diameter is 15. Now all of these are equal. Now let's extrude. This time not mid-plane, but in reverse directions. Sorry, this direction, and it is of 15. Now let's mirror this. Select this and click on mirror feature. We need right plane. Now let's go to top plane and create the sketch. So let's draw line. Now let's draw arc over here, whose radius is 57. Now let's draw line like this. Make sure this is vertically aligned. Now let's add angle 75. Now let's remove Let's remove this section. Let's use center line to make this and this symmetric about vertical center line. Now let's mirror this part. So select this one. Now before that we need to create center line. This one, select, control this and click on mirror. Select the mirror line and right click. Now we have a region over here. Now we can add sketch fillet, which is of radius 25. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Now let's also add, select this circle and convert it to entities. So let's extrude this region on both sides by 15. Now let's measure the volume. So it is 1052931, which is correct answer. In problem 7.19, first we'll draw this line, this inclined line. We'll add the dimensions to fully define the sketch, and then we'll create a 3D extrusion. Here we'll create the reference plane for these extrusions and we'll mirror it. Create sketch on front plane. So let's use midpoint line. Now this is given as 40. Now here line is given. Now its dimension is 8. Similarly, this line, this is 11. Now let's add fillet. So here use sketch fillet of 2 value. Click OK. Make sure this point. Okay, let's go and add the center line. Because when we move this, their virtual corner also moves. And this dimension is given from that virtual corner. So select this, control, select this and this. Make them symmetric. Now overall dimension is given as 52. Now let's extrude by 1 millimeter. It should be inside the sketch. So this is okay. And let's pick the mid plane and width is 18. Now let's create fillet of 3 millimeter. One corner, second corner, third corner, and fourth corner. Select the front plane, press Ctrl and drag it. This time add the distance 8 millimeter, which is given on top in top view. So click OK to create the plane. Now on this plane, let's start sketching. This first line, second line, third line, and fourth line. Now let's add overall dimensioning. Now before that, let's add a fillet. Now here fillet is of 2 because diameter 4 is given. Similarly, on this corner, radius is 2. Now this center is located at 6 millimeter from here to here, which is 17. Now let's add small circle over here whose diameter is 2. Now this line and this line are perpendicular. And from here to here, this is 12. Now let's shortcut key and create extrusion. Opposite direction by 1 millimeter thickness. Now select feature, click on mirror and choose the right plane. not this one. Let's clear this front plane this time and click OK. Now let's hide the plane. Now let's find the volume. It is 1244, which is correct answer. Problem 7.20. It's very simple object. We'll draw a center line. First we create semicircle, line, vertical line, horizontal line, and like this. Then we'll add the radii over here and we'll mirror it and then extrude it. So start sketch on front plane. Now let's just draw center line. Okay. Now let's draw a line from here. Now let's add dimensions. 12. From center to this line it is 130. This is 15. Select this 8. And from here to here it is 45. Now this line and this line are collinear. So we need to dimension is equal to 24. Now let's add closing line. Now before that let's add the fillet. So here now radius is 11. Second, it should vertically align and it should be tangent to this line. Now let's trim the geometry. Let's mirror the sketch. Now let's extrude. Before that, let's add circle over here of 9. Right click mid plane. Here thickness is 5. Now let's add fillet of 5. This corner, this corner. Sorry, let's delete this face and select the edge. Now let's measure the volume. It is 14462, which is correct answer.